Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. So, in celebration of Women's Month, we're looking at speaking to two awesome ladies. We're just gonna obviously interview them and spend some time with them and ask them what's the industry like with them. How is it like being a photographer in the South African landscape with regards to wedding photography, what they both major at, and we're gonna get some questions out of them. All right. So, introducing. Let's get Carla on. Let me get Carla and Anneli. There you go. Hi, ladies.
Hi, hello.
How are you doing?
Good today. Thanks. And you?
So you're like good, eh? I'm also good. A little busy. I had a bit of a hectic day running around, getting some stuff sorted out. Being a parent,
Yeah.
being a parent is not easy, eh? I wish I could be a permanent creative, but yeah. So I got to be a daddy, a creative. I got to work, so it's been hectic. How's things in your?
Yeah, also had a busy day. My husband and I are farming in the Gamjes Valley. So we are starting our citrus season on Monday. So it's all systems go this side, making sure the pack house is all sorted. And yeah, sick kids and school run and yeah, hectic.
Your side, Carla, how's things been?
I had a full week with photography. This weekend, no weddings booked. So, yeah, it's going to be a chilled weekend. But yeah, it's been well.
No, I think that's awesome. I think you do get those times where you can obviously, spend some time with your family and, some alone time, get your creativity back up. So I would say cherish those times and then you work towards being busy again. But yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a few questions. I want to do quick fire questions. I know I was supposed to tell you about the quick fire questions, but I'm not going to tell you up until this point. Okay, so let's start off first with Carla. All right, so Carla, except for and I know you shoot in fact, ladies and gentlemen, both the ladies actually shoot the exact same brand as myself. However, I won't mention that brand. They need to pay the whole three of us for us to mention them. But first question, Carla. Just a quick question, okay? And I'm gonna give you a multiple choice. So, excluding the brand that you are shooting now, what would you shoot? Nikon or Canon?
Canon.
Okay, Anneli, what would you shoot? Pentax or would you shoot Sony?
Sony.
Sony. Okay, Carla, if you are stuck in a situation and you need to shoot and you can choose between natural light and off-camera flash, what would you choose?
Off-camera flash.
Off-camera flash, nice. Anneli, okay, so if you're stuck in a situation and you've got to choose between zoom lenses and prime lenses, what would you shoot?
Gosh, it depends on the situation.
You're stuck in a situation.
But I love my primes.
You love primes. Yes.
I love my primes.
Amazing. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
No, so definitely primes. That's a nice one. And Carla, what would you choose? Would you rather choose working with a bridezilla or a groomzilla?
I've never had a groomzilla, so I'd love to try one of those.
Amazingly, I've had a groomzilla before, and it turns out I think being a male, it's easier to obviously work with a male. So it definitely comes around. And Carla, what would you choose? Would you choose strobe? Anneli, would you choose strobes or continuous lighting?
Continuous lighting. I think you've just got to have a little bit of a better control of what's going on.
No, definitely. And if you had the ideal setting, Carla, would you choose to shoot a bridal couple in a garden or on the beach?
Beach.
Beach. You're tired of gardens. They don't have many beaches up there. Hey? Anneli, what would you choose? Would you choose the beach or the garden?
Gardens tend to give me a green, bit of a green color layover. So yeah, and beach has got its own issues, but I'd go for garden. I like to shoot throughs like leaves and a little bit of a blurred situation. So I'd say garden.
Definitely garden. And I think in my case, I've shot the beach so much. I am tired of the beach. Actually, when clients come up to me and ask me if I can do a shoot on the beach, I beg them. I'm like, please, I'll pay you if you allow me to shoot at the beach. Okay, so we're gonna get to the serious questions. Obviously, with celebrating Women's Month, we understand that the ladies are really doing magical stuff. I've seen some of y'all's work, and it's amazing. I must say, from my side, um, Carla with your wedding photography and Anneli with your wedding photography. But y'all's work is absolutely amazing, and I think just for the audience, we'd like to obviously understand from y'all's point of view in the market or the landscape, how do you manage with these sorts of things? So with Carla, what benefits do you think you have being a woman photographer?
I think being a woman photographer, you tend to, obviously, in the wedding industry, you tend to work with the bride most of the time. So having
Mhm.
a soft feminine touch when you do the detail sessions, and I don't know, I feel that a lady can get a lot more creative when it comes to bridal sessions. That's like one of my, I love that when doing a wedding is styling my bride, and obviously post after the wedding, editing on her and making her the best version of herself,
Mm.
making the client feel like the best version of herself and empowering them through your work. It's really rewarding, and I feel that being a photographer and a woman photographer especially, you have the ideal ability to serve. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice. No, definitely. I think there are definitely benefits, especially when dealing with your bride. I would say
Mm.
even if you obviously understand makeup, because I don't understand makeup,
Mm.
you can work with your bride. That aspect of the dress up, you can obviously be so much more intuitive while you're busy taking pictures. Annalie,
Mm.
how do you answer the question? What benefits do you think you have as a female photographer?
Yeah, I agree with Carla, and I'm also a registered birth photographer. So in that genre, I think moms are, yeah, obviously more comfortable having a woman in the room while giving birth than having a male photographer there. So I think in that sense, that's a good thing. And then I also do a lot of boudoir photography, and I know there's a lot of really good male boudoir photographers, but I think being a female, that's also maybe putting a client a little bit more at ease, just feeling more comfortable with the girl than with the guy.
No, I would definitely say that. I know even with like shooting, like in my case, we shoot with models and stuff, and I've worked with
Mm.
female photographers. You see, they actually ease in so much quicker than obviously
Mm.
male photographers because we set up these
Mm.
these mental barriers. As people, we
Yeah.
set up barriers, and we find it easier to obviously relate with the same sex. So I'll
Yeah.
find it so much quicker to be able to talk to a guy than it is to talk to a girl and to
Mm.
instruct. So I would assume that
Yeah.
you're enjoy those sort of aspects or those benefits in
Yeah.
photography. Carla, what challenges do you face being a woman photographer? It's a
I
serious
think,
question. Yeah, I
yeah.
think you maybe think about it. What challenges do you face?
So mainly at weddings, and so I'm 28, and people usually tend to think that I'm a little bit younger than that. So
Mm.
they tend to take you seriously until they see your work,
Mm.
see what you produce. And sometimes I wish I can put up a banner of my work, put up some books, and say, like, this is who I
Mm.
am, this is what I do. Because people tend to think that photographers, when you pitch up at a wedding, you look like an amateur, or they think you're an amateur
Mm.
until they actually see what you produce. So I must say that's one of the challenges. People tend to undermine you quite quickly. I must say, shooting with artificial light as well. At a wedding, you have to think on your feet and make sure that you know how the math works. So yeah, that's basically the challenges, but you tend to get through it. Yeah, just push through.
No, I would say definitely you have to push through. There's so many things that we face as photographers. I think on my end, obviously, as a male photographer and with shooting, I find it so much easier. Um, I have worked with people, and obviously, people obviously tend to respect. And I say this obviously as a male, of which I don't think it's right. You find that they do tend to respect males so much faster than a woman. They want to look at a woman as if, are you capable? Can you do this? You're doing this alone. Are you going to manage? And what they don't understand is that the bride and the groom actually selected you from hundreds and thousands of photographers in South Africa. They selected you as the photographer for the day. So it makes that alone makes you more than capable to be able to cover the event. They vetted you. Anneli, what's some of the challenges that you faced as a
I think my challenges are more personal. Being a mom, I'm home in the week when the kids. So I call myself a stay-at-home mom during the week. And then on weekends, when the kids are away, when the kids are home, then I work. So Saturday weddings and stuff like that. So I've got a really strong support system. My mom is always looking after the kids for me, and my husband's very involved looking after the kids. So I think from being a mom, it's difficult to be away on weekends, and especially with the birth photography, you get called out in the middle of the night and you have to go. And so I think from that perspective, that's challenging. And from a financial point of view, I think it's challenging, especially coming out of COVID and not working full time for 2 years. It puts a lot of pressure on a person, and financially, if I was the breadwinner, my family would have been in serious trouble. So I think the challenges for me is more personal than photography wise. And I agree with Carla. I mean, my brand of camera, they're very small, and they
what brand
I don't work with a lot of artificial light. I try to stay away from flash, and I do a lot of predominantly natural light photography. So I don't arrive with the setup and lights everywhere. And people tend to think, is this going to work? So it's just, but like I said, my challenges are more personal and just getting the family sorted and doing the school run and not 100% have time for myself the whole morning to do the editing, because I also have to do the kids and I have to do other things. So timing is also challenging sometimes, just to fit in everything.
I think overall, to be a successful photographer, you have to have some sort of time management in place. It's crazy, because at the end of the day, people need to also realize that Anneli is a woman that's married with kids. You need to take care of your family, and you're not just a photographer. Likewise with you, Carla. It's not just something that you're doing solely as a photographer. You're juggling around so many things.
Yeah, so I've got my own rules when it comes to that. There's business hours for a reason. So no inquiries will be attended to after 5. Unfortunately, it's what it is. You've got your own family. You need to spend time with your people. And I think if you don't draw that line for yourself and you don't manage your time efficiently, you might get in trouble, because you might be phoning you at 11 on a Friday evening and saying, why didn't you reply to my message that I sent at 9 p.m.?
I was sleeping. I'm so sorry. I was sleeping.
The best thing I did time management wise was to get separate numbers for my private people and for my business, and download the business WhatsApp with automated messages to say, hello, I did get your message, thanks. I want your business, but just not right now. So yeah, that's been a good help.
I think on my end it's a little different, purely because I'm employed. I'm a designer. I'm a designer by trade. So photography, I used to be very much involved with photography, like with weddings and events and stuff like that. And obviously, I've scaled that down. I've scaled it down to a point where obviously I tend to people that obviously I've worked with, and I usually keep projects to within things that I enjoy. So I've kept my passion for photography purely because of that. I'm able to passion for photography. People don't respect hours. They don't respect your family time. I know they can send me
Yeah, and
messages.
creativity is also something that's not just there all the time. So if you keep working and doing wedding after wedding after wedding, it's like your ideas start running out a little bit, and you don't want to repeat the same thing with the next client. I want to keep everything unique and special for every person. So people don't always understand that creativity is not something that you just have, and it's
I think that's a good question, and I'm actually going to lead to that. Anneli, where do you draw your inspiration from? I know you may have your channels and stuff that you have in place that you draw inspiration from. Where do you draw yours from?
Yeah, I live on the farm, and it's bright and happy outside. And I think my photos are bright and happy and easygoing because I don't see myself as a difficult person. I'm loud and happy and all over the place. So I think my photos are. I also don't do a lot of posing during weddings. I don't do the normal structured poses all the time. It's a lot of documentary style stuff. And I think if something evokes emotion with you, you can shoot. How do you say? You like react on it, and you tell a story according to what you see. So it's basically based on what's happening around me. How does it make me feel? What do I see? Yeah.
With you, Carla, where do you get your inspiration from?
So, my clients, I meet them prior to their weddings, and I love to feed off of their emotion and how they, interact with each other. So you can see chemistry between a couple from, you can smell it. It's like in the air. I tend to do that with how I work with my lights and stuff. I love to project how they are with each other and project that in my photo. Very pose, obviously, because that's my style. It's magazine stuff. It's I like to think of my work as you're gonna print it on a canvas and put it up on your wall. And you're gonna be in awe about it.
Yeah.
So I mostly draw just my inspiration from my clients.
I think that's awesome, eh? I think especially when you spend time with them, you can understand what they're looking for as a client, and then obviously you can tailor your package or your creativity around what they're looking
for. For instance, I got an inquiry about 3 days ago about a bride, and she's going to get dressed in a black wedding dress. Like, that's been on my mind for years. Like, I've always wanted a moody, dark wedding, even though my son
all black wedding. Everything must be black and dark.
Everything's going to be black with candles, and it's going to be a night wedding. So
nice. Yeah.
I can start wrapping my head around it and start thinking about this. And when I actually meet them, I can see how they are with each other. And that's when my ideas just start to flow.
Awesome. Okay. And what inspired you to become a photographer, Anneli? How did the journey begin?
I studied music after school. I've got a BMAS music degree, and I used to be a teacher for a little while. And then my son was born, and I resigned because I didn't want to leave this little body at home while I had to go to work. So yeah, we made the sums, and I resigned from the school I was teaching at to be home. And then I bought just a small Mick and Druk happy snappy camera for this new little kid that I'm going to have, and the family photos I'm going to take. And yeah, slowly but surely I started taking photos. And then my best friend got married, and she said, well, I'm obviously taking her wedding photos. And the more I said no, the more she insisted, because I didn't have a backup anything or no flashes or anything. So I borrowed a flash and I did her wedding as because she asked me to. And it ended up being not half bad. And yeah, so then it kind of just grew from there. Her bridesmaid eventually got married, and friends that was at her wedding saw the photos, and it kind of just like spiraled and grew into something. Friend had a baby, took a photo. So yeah, I think it's also being a creative and being a musician. You do have the creative streak in you, and I had to find an outlet, and photography was a very good outlet for me.
No, definitely. And Carla, how did your journey start? What inspired you to become a photographer?
So my journey is very weird. My husband he did part-time drone videography for a company called, they did a TV show. I can't remember the name, but I think it was, Peter Year Productions. And he did like a lot of production for them. He went on sets, and I just pickled along, and I took photos of the sunset with my phone. And I was an egg donor, and I was very interested in baby photography for some reason. And I bought my first camera with the money that I got from my donation. And my friend actually asked me to take her wedding photos of her wedding in the Drakensberg shortly after buying my camera. And I'm like, but I'm not a photographer. Like, I've never done it. No.
Same story.
Yeah. And she's like, no, you're creative, and I trust you.
I'm sure you can do it.
Yeah. And I borrowed 2 flashes from a friend. Didn't even know how they work. I just winged it. And
100% the same.
I firmly believe in fake it till you make it. Like, but you have to know what you're doing. If I look back at the photos that I took at that wedding, and I look at the photos now, I'm like, I wish I had the ability that I have now. I would have done it like 10 times better. But that's when I started, and I loved wedding photography since doing that wedding, and I immediately knew that this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's almost like being thrown in the deep end, and you just have to swim. So my birth photography journey started. I did a couple. I did their wedding, and shortly after they contacted me, asking if I am registered for birth photography. And at that point, it wasn't really on my radar, so I didn't know anything about it or research it. So I did and looked it up, and I said, well, they would like me to do it. So I did the course, wrote my exam, and then COVID started. And I wasn't allowed in the hospital to do the birth, and so I couldn't do their birth. But then the home birth thing in PE really started picking up, because moms didn't want to go to hospital because of COVID and being scared, and so the home birth industry picked up a little bit in Port Elizabeth. And then I started meeting with some midwives, and just got in there, and then that little bit of a business started taking off. So I did something during the COVID. I did a lot of births.
I'm sure there was definitely a lot of births during COVID times. So people were stuck in the house; they couldn't leave the house. So we had babies. We just had babies.
So it's all just by chance. Everything just happened. So I feel it was meant to be.
I think definitely it was definitely meant to be. And if you look at both of your quality, I mean, your eye for that picture, your sense of lighting, I've seen it. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I will also attribute it to the brand that your guys shoot, but I won't mention any names. No, your guys' work is your work is amazing. I've seen it, as I said. Just a shout out quickly to some of the guys that have tagged along: Marius, Jesh, Steve Costings, Varushka, Carl Daniels. Thank you for tuning in, Kenlin. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions for the ladies, please drop it in the comments. I'm sure we can get the ladies to answer them quickly before we round up for this afternoon. Carla, what do you love the most about about photography? What do you love? What do you love about photography?
I love weddings, but I love content creation. So that's like something that I've learned over the years. I'm really not good in food photography, and that's something I would want to master one day. I'm not a newborn photographer, but I can shoot products. I love playing with the product and tripping the product out of the bottle and, taking macro photos of it. That's like, I love it. And you make such good money with it, actually. If you've got a client that really believes in what you do and you just deliver the best product that you can each time, the client will come back. So I've got this one client, and they mainly deal in cosmetics, and I did 3 shoots for them pro bono, well, at a lower rate, and they just came back every time, and they obviously pay me really well. So weddings, definitely content creation and product photography.
No, I think there's definitely a big market for product photography, and the light just switched off on me, and it's not ESCOM. It's not ESCOM. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just switch back on quickly. Right, I'm back. No, definitely, there is definitely a market there. I've noticed with product photography as well. You must understand everything that needs to be sold, everything that is made, everything that needs to obviously be out onto the World Wide Web
to be marketed.
needs photography. There'll always be a need for photography. So I would say, even if you find yourself in that market, to exploit, even if it's just for a sideline of your photography, it's something that's, I know I've done training for companies that run mass production of products, and I've enjoyed that as well. That was absolutely amazing to see how they manufacture the products, and obviously getting down to the pack shots and stuff like that. It's just crazy. So I would definitely look at, or tell those that have tuned in to look into that sort of market. Really, what do you love the most about photography?
I think the fact that it's same but different. You do all the weddings, but each wedding is different, and you can just play around and just give each client a unique thing. It doesn't have to be the same 9 to 5 thing every day over and over. And I like the different genres. I try and do weird and wonderful things as far as I can. And this photography journey has really taken me some amazing places. I've traveled quite a lot, and I do quite a lot of weddings in Hogsback, which is such a cute little town here in the Eastern Cape, and it's beautiful. So I get to travel, and I try and do different things like the birth photography. There's not a lot of us that's registered in the Eastern Cape, so that's kind of a niche market that I found and really enjoy. I think it's such an emotional journey to photograph. And I'm all for empowerment of women. So I do a lot of boudoir photography for people that's not models. I do moms and teachers and wives and people that's like normal people. So that I really enjoy, and I get involved with a lot of charity projects and do a lot of photography for charity projects, which is really fun. The most recent one I joined was Project Flamingo. It's a project that's about breast cancer, and I actually managed to get into theatre in hospital and photograph some operations and things like that. So I get to see, it's just my journey has just been absolutely amazing, and I try to do different things. than just the norm, just to keep it exciting for me as well. And I've done some underwater photography for a little bit and played around with it just to see what it's about. And I think the thing that I love the most is meeting clients and producing something that they're really happy with. And I don't know. I just love my journey. It's very soul fulfilling to create and to give back and to just to produce beautiful things.
No, that's true. I think even with what you just said now, underwater photography, I had to just pick my eyebrow up there, like, woo! Underwater photography, my word! I'm so sorry. Take a picture of it. Was it in the ocean or was it in the pool? Firstly,
no, it wasn't a pool. I did my camera brand did a series of interviews with some photographers, and we did the video that they did the interview that they did with me was actually in Port Elizabeth at the swimming pool, and we did some really nice underwater photos. So that was fun and creative, but it's more difficult than what I thought it would be. It always looks so amazing, but the work after you've actually taken the photo is hard, because water's not as clear as what it seems. But it's fun.
While you're there, Anneli, I've got a question here for you. You can see it's by Stephanie Lawson. She's asking, she says, Anneli, what is the most challenging part of birth photography?
I think the most challenging part for me is just the timing. Babies come when they come. It's not like you can make an appointment and say, Tuesday at 3, I'll see you. Sometimes it's in the middle of the day or it's in the middle of the night, and you have to leave the family, leave home, and hope you make it in time. So I think the timing is really challenging when it comes to birth photography, and babies come at night. Most of my babies arrive when it's really dark, and mommy's got 3 candles and some fairy lights up, and the lighting situation is not always amazing. So you have to make do with what there is, and learn how to use your camera to the best of its abilities to get the best shot out of the dark. And you don't want to go flash photography during births, because I think it's a bit intrusive and obvious. Moms don't want to know that you're there. So with my brand of camera, it can go. It's got an electronic shutter, so it doesn't make a noise. So when I click the button, there's no sound. So that's been a really good thing. And just the low light abilities of the camera is amazing. The lens that I use is a 1.2, which is really great for in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. Births. So
So
I would say the timing is challenging, because we can't plan for it.
You don't use any sort of lighting at all when you
no extra lighting.
Oh my word! I would like. Okay, wait, I'm so sorry. I need to.
People go sky high. No.
I would freak out. I think I would be there with the flash. I'd have my V1, like just maybe I'd put it there near the mom's shoulder. I'd have my X Pro connected to it, and it'll just be going off. So
it needs to. It's a very intimate and sacred space. So you need to respect the space and the moment. So you need to be fly on the wall.
I've got a question for you, Carla. It's from Verushka. I'm about to put it up. Okay. What has been your biggest inspiration in your journey as a photographer?
I have a lot of peers that support me, and that I have obviously looked up to. And if I could name one, it would be Daryl Fraser. She was my wedding photographer, and I freaking love her. She's a powerhouse of a woman. The way she works her lighting. She's an incredible photographer. I would say that is my number one peer. She was the one who actually said to me the first time, you know what, come to a wedding with me, come see what it's like. She never really taught me how to take photos, but she would say things like high speed sync, and then I would try it on my own. And just to have someone like that holding your hand, that's what I want to be to someone. If there's a youngster coming and saying they want to learn, I want to take their hand and I want to take them on an incredible journey.
No, that's absolutely awesome. I know you actually find yourself running into people that obviously inspire you, and I know even myself as well. I had an amazing wedding photographer, and for years I've been wanting to get into photography, until I got to a point where I just said, nope, I'm gonna get into photography. I'm just gonna buy a camera. I took whatever savings we had in the account that day, and I just purchased a camera. The wife nearly killed me. I'm sure in some alternate reality my wife did kill me, but yeah, in this reality she didn't. So I'm a photographer today. Before we close, I'll just leave it open for any other questions from our guests, viewers, if they'd like to ask any questions. But the final question that I have for you ladies, starting with Anneli. Do you have any advice for women photographers that are looking to start in the industry or to get into the photography industry?
I think not necessarily women photographers, but any photographer. I think networking is so important. I do a lot of that. Meet with other photographers, chat about things, learn about their genres, and see what works for you. And it took me 10 years to get to a point where I am where I am. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and now I feel I'm worthy and I am ready to take on anything. And I think just looking at other people and just believing in yourself, 100% try and find your worth, know what you stand for, and hard work. It doesn't come easy because there's so many other photographers in the industry. It's hard work.
From you, Carla, what advice would you give to?
I would say that winners never sleep. So if you want to win and you want to make a success out of your business, do not be lazy. As Anneli said, if you know you have a deadline, get up early in the morning, do your best, go out, meet people, come to the Godox open days, learn how the product works. I mean, my business purely works off of word of mouth. Sherwin and
I 100%.
We had the discussion yesterday. I do not advertise for wedding photography anymore because people look or they speak to people. So just believe in yourself. Never tear yourself down. Never say that your work isn't good enough. Never compare yourself to another photographer in the industry, especially if that person has been in the industry longer than you. Rather learn from that person. So reach out to them and ask them if you can shadow them. That's basically my advice.
I think just to touch on the two things that you spoke about. Number one, Anneli, you said networking. It's something that I've actually lived by, and I continue to live by it. Is to network as much as I can. I'm a friendly person by nature, so I'm not the competitive type. I've never been the competitive type. Obviously, want to compete with other photographers. I understand that I run my own race, and I'll finish my own race the way I deem fit. So I've always been one to connect. Take your number, contact people. Ask if you need assistance, even if it means me coming and holding a light stand for you. If it means me assisting you with maybe settings that you don't understand or gear that you don't understand. Networking is very important. very important. And Carla also said as
Yeah.
well, you can't rest if you want to obviously succeed. There's no time for rest. You can rest when you when you meet the grade, but for now you need to work. You need to, and I would say if you want to start photography or enter the industry, start now. If it means starting with your phone, do it. If it means buying a camera, do it. The main thing about starting is starting. You have to start now. You don't wait till, okay, when I buy an expensive camera, I'll start. When I buy expensive lighting, I'll start. You'll go nowhere. But in closing, I'd like to thank all of the viewers for tuning in, for spending some time with us. Most importantly, I'd like to send a shout out to Godox SA for giving us this platform. Obviously, for seeing value in our ladies, because you are so so valuable. Thank you, Carla, for seeing value in our ladies, for allowing myself, Carla, and Anneli to obviously, speak about the importance of women in our industry. Thank you so much, ladies, for giving us your time. I understand
It's a
that
pleasure.
this past 45 minutes or so, it takes away from your family, but for you to give it to us, it means so much. Carla, thank you for tuning in. Anneli, thank you for tuning in.
Just a pleasure. It was lovely chatting to you.
I definitely look forward to doing this again sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm in.
I think next we'll speak about strobes and which lighting we like.
Yes,
And maybe I'm not in.
Then you're not in. I'm just kidding. Maybe we'll get our camera brand involved as well. I'll ask them to try and obviously sponsor us or something.
Yeah, 100%.
Ladies, thank you so much. Enjoy
Thank
the rest
you.
of your evening.
Enjoy the weekend. Bye.
Yes, bye.